Well, it's always difficult, it's like asking which one is your favorite kid. So,
Yeah.
but they all have beautiful history, and I'm not only talking about the museum pieces, even the new one. It's always a pleasure. And if I had to select one, to be frank, I would say the new time zone minute repeater, because I was so happy to be able to launch it here for this exhibition. It's quite unique because normally I keep it for the Basel Fair, but for the States I really wanted to do something very nice. Well, it was always, I would say, very important. We started the business in 1850, 51, and since then we have been really. The story has was always ongoing, and I have seen the most beautiful pieces in the States. Myself, as you know, I was also trained here at our agency. My father also, my grandfather also. So I would say it's very important not only for the business but also on the family point of view. It's I would say a stage of your life where you have to do it as a Stern family. If you're willing to take over Patek Philippe, you have to work in the States, and that means really something for me. So it's not only about business, that it's important for Patek, but it's also personally, it's something who is quite important, and yeah, well, as I say, it's nice to go in the step of my dad and my grandfather to fight in New York, because for a little Swiss guy like me, it's not that easy. And the market itself, it's a huge market. We have about 100 retailers here. It's the biggest market we have. So it's very important to do something exceptional here. I mean, for me, it's one of the key of the success of Patek.
Great, thank you.
No, at the time I decided to do it in white gold with the time zone, and that was it. And when I started to think about this exhibition, I really wanted to do something exceptional but also affordable. When I say affordable, we all agree that it's still expensive, but I mean, if you look at the Patek Philippe branch, I really wanted to have something that the passionate people who would like to have a Patek Philippe but who are not able, to pay a big amount for a minute repeater, would have the chance also to have something nice. And that's where my idea came for the Pilot watch. I say, well, people enjoy it. They also know, I knew it, they enjoyed the Aquanaut, and I decided to do it because I wanted to have a watch who was easy to wear, affordable, and also in a quantity, because you don't want to have only 5 pieces for the whole United States. So this was the main idea for this one. But I really, no, I created this idea not even a year ago. Not for collectors. It will be only for the American market, but not only for the collectors. It has to be a split who is fair for everybody. So the task, for our own agency here in New York, will be first to dispatch them to all the retailers, and then the retailers will have the task to allocate them. But I really hope that they will also allocate those pieces to somebody who is not only a very big collectors. It has to be also for someone, as I just say, who is young, who is willing to start with Patek Philippe. We should also give him the chance to wear such a piece. Well, for two reasons. The first one is maybe more, I would say, just for myself, is to say I'm happy to share it. And the second one is that we have also to educate people. That's our duty. And I grew up in this business with the will of sharing this passion with a lot of people. It doesn't matter if you cannot afford a Patek Philippe. I think it's nice to educate people, just that you can really understand the hard work who is behind it. People enjoy that, and today in this world where we all have only electronic stuff, I think it's pretty nice to share that with people. So you never know, somebody who cannot afford it today, maybe in 2 years he will have a fantastic business, and one day he will say, well, I have the money. I remember I was at Patek Philippe exhibition. I enjoyed it, and I would like now to have one of those watches. So this is very important. That's why I'm willing to open it to everybody. No, not really. You should not push your children too early. I'm guiding them with my wife to be well educated. I'm willing that they're finishing their school, and then they will have to make their own choices. I never thought about making children just to take over Patek Philippe. Never. They will have to make their own choices, as I did myself, and if they're willing to do something else, fine. I'm just hoping that they would do it correctly and at the best way as they could. My task, it's only to give them a good education. After that, they would have to make their own choices, because if you're willing to run Patek Philippe, you have to do it with passion. Well, you have to do by event like this. I think that's very important. Then you also have to propose a product that they like.
Yeah.
So that's why you have a very wide collection of different type of watches at Patek, and that's very important. You have to listen to the retailers who will give you advice. You have to listen to your own customer when you have an event, and that's a difficult task for me always, to create a piece who will seduce not only the American market or not only the Swiss market. It has to be for the whole world. This is maybe the biggest task that you have to do. And for the younger generation, well, you're going to create maybe an aquanaut. That's something that they will love. The Nautilus also, for example. And then the communication is also important. You have to work with different media, different ways. And I think that's the only way how to try to, well, to get those people. They don't want to see you wearing Patek Philippe and say, oh, it's only for my grandfather. And that's why I like to create sometimes pieces like the Pilot watch or something like that. Say two challenges. First one is still to stay independent, so that means that I have to be profitable. That means that I have to create good products, but that's something we know how to do. And maybe the second one is, I have to work with retailers, and the danger today is that there's a lot of big groups buying a lot of retailers. So you have really to be able to work with all of them. You don't want to depend only on one group who has 80% of all the retailers. This could be a danger.
Yeah.
So those are the two risks, but they are not that big. If you know what you are doing, if you are very careful, and if you have a good vision, it should be fine.